So starting a new vlog. This will be a reading vlog for the Villains Duology by V. Schwab. This is the first book, Vicious, and I have the second book on my bookshelf. But yeah, I decided I'm just gonna try and vlog all of my reads for the year, or most of them anyways. Yeah, because if you follow me on my Bookstagram, you know that I normally post every single book that I read in like mini reviews on my Bookstagram, but I've decided I'm just gonna do it on my YouTube this year because I'm trying to stay committed to YouTube and really have like a full year of commitment and doing this and staying consistent. So I think this is a good way for me to try to do that. So yeah, I'm trying to get over Daisy Hates the Great Undoing, which is the fourth book in the Magnolia Parks series. I just filmed a clip for that vlog, which will come out later. But yeah, I need to move on for right now. So I need a little bit of Dark Academia vibes. I don't really know if people consider Vicious Dark Academia. I don't even know if I consider it Dark Academia, but it has the vibes, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, and I haven't read this book. I didn't realize I had, oh, this is a reread for me. I haven't read this book in 5 years, which is crazy. So it's time for a reread. I really love this duology. There has been rumors that it may turn into a trilogy or whatever, because the way, honestly, like even the way the first book ends, if she never made a second book, it would be okay because she ended it in such a vague way where it's like, there could be more, or maybe if there's not more, that it's still satisfying. And the same thing with the second book, the way that one ends, there could be more, but if there isn't more, it's still satisfying, you know? So yeah, I really love this duology. That may be a series. So yeah, I'm gonna start reading this because I need to move on from Magnolia Parks and Daisy Hates right now because I'm just distraught. And you'll see in my vlog whenever that comes out. This vlog will most likely come out first. Yeah. So yeah, I need some Dark Academia vibes. So we're gonna do some rereads. Okay, so it seems like my year is starting off with mostly rereads, and yeah, that's what it is, and that's what I want. There's just so many books that I love that I want to reread. That's my whole reason for buying so many books, because these are books that I love and I plan on reading them over and over again. So yeah, okay, I feel like I'm talking a lot because I just did that clip for the other vlog, doing a clip for this vlog. I'm kind of tired now and I need to go to work. So yeah, I will update you another day. Oh, I forgot to say what this is about. So pretty much this is about two guys. They met in college. They did an experiment on like pretty much getting like supernatural powers in near-death experiences. So if like someone, whatever, if someone gets into an accident, they're near death, they almost died, but like say they died for like a second and they survived, they may develop supernatural powers because of that near-death experience. So the two guys in this book, for their college thesis, that's what they decide to experiment on and do, and crazy things happen, bad things happen, and one of them ends up in prison. And that's not a spoiler because the book takes place going back and forth from 10 years in the past, from when they were seniors in college, to the present, to when they're about 30 years old. And it tells you that he just got out of prison in the first chapter, so don't worry. No spoilers, okay? Yeah, and I'm gonna, yeah, this isn't gonna be a spoilery vlog, so yeah. Love, love, love this book, and I'm excited to reread it, so. Okay, now I'm gonna go to work. update. I finished Vicious. I actually finished it a few days ago, and rereading it was such a comfort for me. I loved it so much. I loved revisiting this story, these characters. I just loved it. And if you read it, you know, like, even though Victor and Eli are both like villainous characters, you know who's the clear villain in this story. And even though they do both do bad things, Eli does bad things because he feels like it is his duty, like God is telling him to do these things. And like, it's interesting to be in his head because he like twists things to make sense to him. He's like, because this is the right thing to do. I'm making the world better. God is approving of this because XYZ, whatever. And then with Victor is just doing bad things because he just needs to get things done. He's just doing what he has to do to get back at Eli. I just love it because Eli's the reason why Victor was in prison in the first place. And I'm not giving any spoilers, do not worry. Like I said in the last clip, I actually don't remember everything I said in the last clip, but I think I gave you guys the gist of what's going on. So yeah, just know that Victor is in prison. He was in prison because of Eli, and that's no secret. I mean, that's not a spoiler. But yeah, I just love being in their heads because they're both villainous characters, but they just have their own reasons for doing things. Eli, of course, is the clear, like, true villain, though, of the story. But yeah, I remember when I was in an acting class many years ago when I first read this, which was 5 years ago. I remember I was telling my class, like, it was very interesting reading this book at the time because I was in the minds of villains and seeing why they do what they do and how it is right to them, even though it's clearly a wrong thing that they're doing to other people. And yeah, I don't know, it was a way for me to relate to playing a villainous character by reading this book. I don't know, made sense to me. But yeah, and I remember this woman, she was like, oh my gosh, tell me what book this is, I need to learn from it. I'm like, oh no, this is not an acting book, this is just a fictional story. But she was not listening to me. She thought I was saying that this was like an actor's book for learning how to play villainous characters. I was like, no, this is just no. So whatever, I don't know if she ever read it. But yeah, loved it, 5 stars again. Love this book so much. It's a duology, like I said before, and I'm not gonna read the second book just yet. I'll read it later because it was just such a comfort. I feel like I don't need to like rush and read the second book just for this vlog. So okay, so because I'm a mood reader, I decided that I wanted to read this book. What is it called? Black Sunshine. So I started the audiobook for that, and it's a vampire story, like a vampire dark fantasy romance. I DNF'd it. So the reason why I even decided to read this was because I wanted to read Blood Orange by this same author. I forgot her name. Yeah, I'm not even gonna try. I forgot her name, but I'll have it up on the screen. I wanted to read Blood Orange, which is a duology, because I heard great things about that. I knew that Black Sunshine did not have the best reviews, but I was like, this one has an audiobook, Blood Orange doesn't have an audiobook, and I don't feel like buying the physical book of Blood Orange right now. So I was like, okay, let me give Black Sunshine a try. I had to DNF it. I see why it's not the better of her books that she has written. It just wasn't very good. I mean, it was a decent story. I was like, okay, this could be a bad fun time, you know, like it could be one of those bad books that you have a fun time with. But I was scared that it was going to turn into like a reverse harem story. I don't think it does, but I don't know, because I looked at some of the reviews and someone did say that the main male love interest is fine with sharing the woman with his guy friends or whatever, and I'm like, oh no. I'm not interested in that at all. It's giving reverse harem type vibes, so no thank you. And I kind of felt that vibe too when I was reading it, so like I wasn't sure if it was gonna go in that direction. Also, I did not like that the love interest was like hundreds of years old. I can like stop making the guy hundreds of years old and then the female main character, she's 20 or 21. Like, yes, I think she's not 18 or 17, but still, like, the guy could have just been her age. Anyways, the story was just about vampires and vampire slayers. Were there witches in it? I already don't remember. Like, it's already out of my mind. I don't remember if there were witches, like if the vampire slayers were witches, or am I mixing up books? I don't know. Anyways, so yeah, pretty much it starts off, like the prologue is these two people, they're vampire slayers or vampire hunters, and they go to kill these vampires, and then they realize that they had a daughter. So the vampire slayers go and take the daughter with them and raise her as their own. So the daughter has no idea that her parents are not her real parents, and she has no idea that she's actually a vampire. So yeah, and then the story goes from there. She's starting to see spooky things and things are starting to happen and she's being followed and all sorts. But then that's where I stopped reading. So maybe it is good, who knows? But I don't know, the reviews were not giving what it was supposed to give. But anywho, so I moved on and I decided to stick with some Dark Academia for now. Oh, and I said in the first clip before that I wasn't sure if I considered Vicious Dark Academia. It definitely is. Rereading it, I'm like, yeah, this is definitely Dark Academia. But anywho, so I decided to do another reread, of course, because I'm doing rereads this year apparently. And I decided to reread If We Were Villains. I love this book so much. It's one of my favorite books of all time, but I've only read it once and I read it 4 years ago. So I'm rereading it now and I'm having a great time. Such a wonderful time. I love this book. It's so good, so well done. And pretty much, how do I explain it? It's about this group of classmates and they're also friends. They're theater majors and they're in their last semester of college. And a tragic incident happens to one of them. And we're trying to figure out what happened, who did it, and so forth. The book starts off with the main character in prison. He's about to get out and we're going to find out, when you're reading the story, you'll find out why he was in prison in the first place and what happened between his group of friends. This book also has a lot of Shakespeare in it, which I personally love. I really enjoyed that. And it made me think about my years as a theater major when I was in college. So revisiting this story is really, really nice for me. It's making me miss acting and miss theater school. But yeah, I also have a video on this book that I made many years ago when I first read it, and it's a non-spoiler book review, so if you want to check that out, please do. I explain it really well, I think, in that video. And this cover, I love this cover. I don't see this cover anywhere ever. I don't even know if they still sell this or if this is like a special edition or what. I have no clue, but I don't see this cover anywhere. I ordered it online years ago, so I don't know. It has deckled edges. Like, was this a special edition? I have no clue. Anywho, that is it for this reading update. I do also want to mention The Secret History. I love my edition of The Secret History. It's the Book of the Month edition. It's the best edition if you ask me. But this book is not good. I read this last year and I forgot to talk about it in my end of year reading wrap-up video. This book was so disappointing. It's so boring, it's so blah. Like, it's decent, it's maybe like a 3-star book, but people love this book. Everyone says it's the #1 Dark Academia book, and it's not. This is the #1 Dark Academia book, okay? Hands down, easily. This one, it's really just meh. Like, it's really nothing. I don't understand the hype around this book at all. Somebody explain it to me, please. The only reason why I was able to even get through this entire book was just to see if it got better. I just want to see why people love it, but I still do not know why. I have no clue. Anyways, that is it for this reading update. I'll catch you later.